And I will be back later to find out if it's true that children have more bones than adults. I don't believe it. So what do you reckon? Babies have more bones in their bodies than adults? I'm not sure if I believe it, but I'll ask Mr. Bliss before the end of the programme, especially for you. Now, they told me to come down here and look for Nick. They said he's wearing a plaster cast. Kind of narrows it down, doesn't it? And he's actually not wearing a plaster cast. He's wearing a ski boot. I'm dealing with idiots. Nick, how are you?
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Now, listen, it's not your first time on City Hospital.
It's not.
You've made a starring role before.
I did. I was on there.
Blink and you'll miss it. Tell us, what were you doing on the show then?
I was just doing hair for a girl that had had an operation over in Guys. And because of where I work, she came across to the shop.
You're a hairdresser then?
I'm indeed, sir.
I could tell. Now, listen, let's go and see your consultant. What have you done?
I broke my ankle playing football.
Right, be very careful next to me when you're on your crutches.
I've heard.
Because I am a liability. I'll stay well back. Painful?
Not at the time, no. It's just been an inconvenience since, really, so...
But you had quite a bit of difficulty getting down to the hospital, didn't you? Tell us the story.
I did, because the injury was incurred on a Friday night.
Right.
After playing football. And no cab driver would stop because he assumed I was drunk.
Right.
And I couldn't stand up, so...
So you couldn't get here?
No. Someone did stop eventually and we went from there.
See,
so.
all cabbies, not everyone is drunk on a Friday night, OK? Now then, let's get what he's already in.
Wonderful.
Morning, Mr. Smith.
Hello again.
Nice to see you again. Before we talk about Nick, what's all this about babies having more bones in their bodies than adults? Is that true?
No. It's, I think people misunderstand the fact that children, the way bones grow is there's a cartilage, okay, in the shape of the bone. You can't see a cartilage on the x-ray, but some of the cartilage gets turned into bone. And you have little spots within the bone where the cartilage is being turned into bone. So if you take an x-ray of a child, it's a little bit of bone, a little bit of bone, a little bit of bone, a little bit of bone. It's all one bone, but it looks like lots of little bones. Now what happens as it grows, these little areas of growth meet, basically, it sort of coalesces, so that little patches of bone become one solid bone. So I think it's a misconception that some people have that children have lots more bones than adults do. They just look strange on an x-ray and then they grow to form one solid bone, but there are no separate bones.
Now you know. Let's talk about Nick's condition.
Yep.
He's hoping to have the all clear today.
Yep, yep. What he's done is he's got a little break at the bottom of his fibula. There's different ways we can classify ankle breaks. Now the ankle fracture we looked at just a short while ago was an unstable ankle fracture. By that it needs an operation. Now in Nick here, his ankle fracture was stable in that it doesn't need an operation. So what we've done is we put him in this air cast boot, which is like a giant ski boot really, which he's been walking around in quite happily. So the plan is now, take out the air cast boot, gently examine his ankle. If it's not too sore, get him going without it.
So it could be good news today.
Oh, it will be good news today. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the question is, do we get him completely out of the ski boot now, or do we wait another couple of weeks before he completely throws it away? So definitely he'll be doing more and more. The question is, can he throw it away now, or just, you know, limit the use of it day to day?
Well, that's the question, Nadia. We could have that ski boot off next time you come back. Hey, the wriggling toes say it all. It's good news, Nick.
It is. It is. It's all good.
Everything's healed, everything's fine?
Pretty much. They're going to do another support cast for a couple of weeks, which is just a removable thing.
Listen, how easy has it been having this thing on? Because I've never seen anything like this before.
I've never seen it before either. It's all right. It's pretty good. It's heavy, but you can take it off when you bath and when you sleep and stuff.
So you actually take it off when you sleep?
Yeah, it's really nice. Better than all that
Fantastic.
plastic bags on your foot and all that.
Going to carry on playing football?
Eventually. Get back to it in the new year.
Hey, listen, great to meet you this morning. Good luck with it all.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Who should I give this to? Do you want it? There you go. Fantastic. Now then, Mr. Bliss is a very busy man. Do you mind me coming in again?
No, no, not at all.
I've been a right pain this morning. Who have you got with you now?
Well, Deepak here. Deepak, my main interest is that of the knee. Well, that's what I operate on 99% of the time. And what happened is he had his ligament rebuilt, his ACL rebuilt in Bristol, wasn't it? When did you have your ligament built in Bristol, remind me?
End of 2003.
End of 2003. And then he re-injured his knee. He tore his ACL graft.
How did he do that?
Happened to have seen the Karate Kid.
I have seen the Karate Kid.
The crane.
Oh, you actually doing that move?
Yeah.
And what happened?
It was really good. I got my foot well above my head, but
it's obviously a bit too good, I think.
just the landing that went wrong.
Yeah, that's often the thing.
many.
When people come down, that's when they tend to take out their knees.
Right.
So things like basketball, netball, when you land, that's often how you injure your knee.
Right. So he's just been really taking it easy then?
Well, no.
Not doing the Karate Kid.
The whole point of doing ligament rebuilds is to get people back to doing what they love. That's why I rebuild knees. Not to say what you can't do, but to get them back to doing what they want to do.
Right.
So Deepak re-injured his knee. So what I've done is I've redone his ligament rebuild. And we did this a little while ago. It's December of last year. I used donated tissue because we'd run out of tissue to use in his knee. You're doing really well. I mean, so you seem to be telling me. So these ligaments, if they do re-injure themselves, the important thing to let people know out there is that they can be redone. So,
right.
You know, the important thing about having ligament rebuild is get out there, enjoy yourself. Worst case scenario, if you re-injure it, someone like me can redo it for you.
So what are the chances of it being re-injured again?
It's about 1.5%. Certainly that's the figure I quote.
The only reason I say that is because I know that you've been whitewater rafting, you've been, climbing mountains.
Perfect, but that's perfect. that means it's a successful outcome. That's exactly what I want. I want people to go out there, and if I almost want to try and re-injure themselves in the sense that I want them to be doing as much as they feel able to do. That's my approach to what they can and can't do after surgery.
So what are you actually doing here today?
Well, what I've just been doing is just examining his knee, just testing the movement in his knee, and the real test, or one of the tests for ligament, is to pull his shin bone front to back, and that is the same as other knees. So that's a really successful reconstruction. We're really pleased for it. He's doing well.
What are ligaments for?
Ligaments guide movement in joints. They're like pieces of rope. They hold things together, but they actually allow movement. So in the knee joint, what the ligaments do, they allow it to bend and straighten, but also to rotate. And it's rotating. That's how you can easily injure this ligament, because it's designed to resist rotation. You land awkwardly, overdo it, pop, it goes. And it hurts, doesn't it, when it first happens? It hurts.
How much does it hurt?
It's agony. I was heading for weeks and popping plenty of painkillers.
What normally happens is it hurts a lot for about an hour and a half, and then it's a sort of dull throb for a while.
Right.
Some people it hurts a lot, and Deepak it hurt for a while, but most people it hurts, it's like, dear God, what have I done?
Right.
And then it settles down, I think, well, actually, maybe I haven't injured myself. It's a classic thing, the ligament goes bang, hurts like hell, and then it settles down a bit.
Now, I don't want to drop Deepak in it, but he has told me he might do bungee jumping next. That can't be a good idea.
Do what you want.
You're mad, you honestly are. Do you fancy bungee jumping?